Good morning, kids. This is Mr. Michael, and I'm going to be your host this morning here at KidzROCC. We're so glad that you're here today to experience the most important day of the year. You know what day it is today? It's finally here. It's Easter. Easter is here. Now, I know what you're thinking, boys and girls. You're thinking, I'm excited about Easter because of all the chocolate and the candy and all that kind of stuff. Well, listen, I understand. I feel you. I understand that. But here's the thing. It's not just about chocolate today, because the most important event in the history of the world happened on this day that we celebrate. And you know what it is? It's the day that Jesus rose from the grave. He's alive, boys and girls. That's exciting. It's something to celebrate. It's the most important event in the history of the world, like I said. And here's the thing about this event that makes it so important, is that Jesus showed the most true aspect, the most true virtue, the most true life app of humility. That is our life app for this month. Humility is putting others first by giving up what you think you deserve. And that's what Jesus did. Now, here's another thing about Easter. I was reading my Bible, boys and girls. I was reading it in 1 Corinthians 15, and I was reading about how if the resurrection didn't happen, our faith isn't here. We're still in our sin. We're separated from God. We have no hope at all. But because He rose from the dead, we have hope. And I want to teach us this morning our main statement of the day, our main life app of the week. It's 4 words. It's really simple. But you know how Mr. Michael does this, how we all do it. We don't just say it. We act it out. So we're going to act out this phrase, Jesus puts us first. I hope you're excited. So stand up. Everybody stand up in your living room, wherever you're sitting right now. I want you to stand up and do this with me. First, we're going to spell out the word Jesus like this. J-E-S. And then give me a U-S. And then yell out Jesus. That's the first word. So let's do it together. Ready? Here we go. J-E-S-U-S. Jesus. And then for the word put. We're going to do like we're having a golf club. And we're going to do this. I've done this motion before. We're going to go put. And then us, we're going to go us. And then for first, we're going to put our hands out like this, with our hands up like this, and go like this, because Jesus died on the cross for our sins first. Okay? Think we can do it all together at one time? I have confidence in you. We're going to do the whole thing through, and when we come back from the Bible story video, I'm going to see if you can do it along with me without me helping you. Here we go. One more time. Ready? J-E-S-U-S. Jesus. Put us first. Great job, boys and girls. You're awesome. I hope your parents did it with you as well. Well, it's time for us to watch the Bible story on video. So I want you to sit back and really pay attention as we learn about what Jesus is going to say to us today in this Bible story.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. And now for an amazing story, inspired by the book of John, chapters 18 through 20.
For months, the Jewish religious leaders had been making plans to silence Jesus. The things He said and did challenged the way they had always lived. He was upsetting the world as they knew it.
It is better if one man dies for the people than if the whole nation is destroyed.
Then, one of Jesus' closest friends, Judas, betrayed to the religious leaders where Jesus would be praying after the Passover meal. The leaders sent soldiers to arrest Jesus, and He allowed the mob to take Him.
Do you think I can't ask my Father for help? He would send an army of angels. But then how would the scriptures come true? They say it must happen in this way.
As Jesus was tied up and led away, Jesus' closest friends scattered, though Peter and John followed at a distance. What was it like for them? Try to imagine for a minute that you're Peter. Only hours before, Jesus told you,
Before the rooster crows, You will say 3 times that you don't know me.
And you, Peter, protested that you would die before deserting. But now Jesus has been arrested, and if you get too close, they might take you too. So you trail along like a stray dog as soldiers haul Jesus inside the home of the high priest.
What's happening in there?
The servant at the door frowns as she peers at you.
You aren't one of Jesus' disciples, are you?
I am not.
You're ashamed to lie, but what good will you be to Jesus if you get arrested too? You huddle close to the fire in the courtyard as voices float through a high-up window.
What's this foolishness you've been teaching?
I didn't say anything in secret. Ask the people who heard me. They certainly know what I said.
You feel sick. Now they've taken Jesus. You know nothing will stop them. Someone else asks whether you're one of Jesus' followers, and you snap.
No, I'm not.
Minutes later, another man asks whether he saw you in Gethsemane with Jesus. Your stomach churns.
Nope, not me.
You realize you have denied Jesus 3 times, just as he said, and all you can do is stagger to your feet and run away, weeping. Now, imagine you're John instead of Peter. Somewhere in the chaos, you've lost Peter. So when soldiers haul Jesus away to the Roman governor, all you can do is follow, alone. From the back of the crowd, you witness the terrible drama as the governor Pilate brings Jesus out.
What charges are you bringing against this man?
He has committed crimes.
Pilate takes Jesus away for questioning. You can only pray that he sees through all the lies and stops this madness. You're horrified when Pilate brought Jesus out again, battered and bruised.
I find no basis for a charge against him.
No, crucify him!
Crucify him!
Pilate hands Jesus over to the soldiers who force him to carry the heavy beams of his own rough cross. You know where they are going.
Golgotha.
It's a hill outside the city. As in a bad dream, you force yourself to follow. Along the dusty road, you find Jesus' mother, Mary, her sister, and Mary Magdalene. None of you can speak. You arrive at Golgotha in time to see soldiers nail Jesus to the wooden bars with heavy spikes and raise the cross up high. You strain your eyes to read the sign placed above Jesus' head.
King of the Jews.
You nearly choke on dust and grit. You've seen Jesus do amazing, powerful things, and yet he's allowed himself to be taken and battered. You glance over and see Mary sobbing, so you place your hand on her shoulder. When you look back up, you see Jesus watching his mother through the pain in his eyes.
Dear woman, here is your son.
Jesus looks directly at you, eyes filled with love.
Here is your mother.
Yes, Lord.
You are overwhelmed to know that Jesus trusts you to take care of his own mother. But the terrible truth sinks in. Jesus knows that he will die. He's planning on it, just as he's been saying for weeks. A short time later, you see him lift his gaze to heaven.
It is finished.
Then he bows his head, and you can see the life leave his body. All the air seems to leave your own lungs too. You thought Jesus was God's chosen one. How can he be dead? Now, as we move ahead, imagine you're Mary Magdalene, one of Jesus' close followers. Unlike so many others, you've dared to stay there, at the cross. And once Jesus is dead, you dare to follow the men who take his body for burial, Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus.
A garden tomb.
The evening has faded, and it's now the Sabbath. You want to honor Jesus by anointing his body with spices, but it will have to wait until the Sabbath is over. So you stay hidden indoors until early Sunday morning, then you make your way through the dark streets.
The stone. What will I do about the stone?
As you arrive, you recall that a heavy stone was rolled to block the entrance of the tomb, but now...
It's gone.
You gasp as you peer inside the tomb. Gray light reveals.
It's empty.
Heart pounding, you race back through the streets to the home where the disciples are staying.
They have taken the Lord out of the tomb. We don't know where they have put him.
You can see the shock in Peter's face. John gapes, and then they both begin to run to see for themselves. At a loss, you follow slowly, weighed down with exhaustion and confusion. When you reach the garden, you see Peter and John ahead, trying to make sense of it. You hang back as they leave again.
What more is there to say?
As the first rays of dawn light up the garden, you reach the tomb. Tears spill down your face as you bend to look inside once more. Two figures in radiant white sit where Jesus' body lay. You can't even begin to think what this means.
Woman, why are you crying?
They have taken my Lord away. I don't know where they've put him.
You turn away to catch your breath and find another man standing right there. At first you think Peter or John has returned, but it's not one of them. Maybe it's a gardener.
Woman, why are you crying? Who are you looking for?
Sir, did you carry him away? Tell me where you put him, then I will go and get him.
Mary.
The moment he speaks your name, you see, you understand. It's Jesus.
Teacher.
You fling yourself at his feet because there isn't anything else you can do. Gently, he touches your shoulder.
Do not hold on to me. I have not yet ascended to the Father. Instead, go to those who believe in me. Tell them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God.
You rise to your feet, still weeping, but your tears are full of joy. You start to run again because you can't wait 1 second more to deliver the news.
I have seen the Lord.
Jesus chose to face death for those he loved, and now he's defeated it. Jesus is alive. It's the best news ever for everyone across all time.
Man, wasn't that Bible story great? It was awesome. Hey, you know what's important about that Bible story is this, is that Jesus gave up everything in his life for us. You know, we may have to give up time sometime by being patient. We may have to give up maybe our own wants and desires to help somebody else. But Jesus ultimately gave up everything for us. That's incredible, boys and girls. You got to think about that. That we don't have a dead Jesus. We have an alive Jesus. And he has done everything for us. He's put us first by giving his life for us. Our scripture verse this month is Philippians 2:3. It's a very important scripture verse. It says this. It says, don't do anything only to get ahead. Don't do it because you are proud. Instead, be humble. Value others more than yourselves. Boys and girls, can I tell you this? If you can learn that secret of humility, of putting people above yourself at your age, it's going to save you a ton of time later on in life. In fact, you're going to be so far ahead from other people because you put that into practice. Now, I want to say one more thing before we go. I know this is a tough time right now. I know we're all inside a lot. We can't go anywhere and stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you something. We at KidzROCC miss you guys so much. We cannot wait for the day that we're all back together in this KidzROCC room, worshiping and singing and laughing and having fun together. But in the meantime, don't give up. We have the most important message to share. And we can do it creatively like we're doing today on video. So I want to remind you, boys and girls, of our bottom line one more time. I want you to do it with me. Stand up again. Parents, do it with us. Here we go. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. J-E-S-U-S. Jesus. Put us first. Boys and girls, hope you have an awesome day. Mr. Michael loves you. We're pulling for you. We're praying for you. And we'll be together again one day real soon. Have an awesome, awesome Easter Sunday.